Good afternoon and welcome to the LTR Pharma Investor Webinar. I'm Dana Luca and today I'm joined by Executive Chairman Lee Rodne. Lee, I will hand over you to run through the presentation lodged with the ASX yesterday.
Thanks, Dana, and hi everyone, and thanks for jumping on to the webinar. Hopefully everyone has a really good understanding of our company now and our product. But I'll just hit some key updates, key highlights, and then open it up for Q&A at the end of it. So it's important to remember that we are commercializing the world's first nasal spray as a fast-acting, on-demand treatment for erectile dysfunction. So there is no other nasal spray product on market. We are the first and only nasal spray product coming to market that is fast-acting and on-demand. We've had some very successful clinical study results so far, so I'll get to that in a bit. And we're with our clinical data, we are in prime position to disrupt that global Viagra marketplace called the PDE5 marketplace. So our investment highlights, again, we have an expedited path to market. Our drug has already been approved for the treatment of erectile dysfunction, so we don't have to go down all the expensive and long clinical studies that new drugs have to go through, because our drug has already been approved and on market for erectile dysfunction. We have really successful and compelling clinical data to disrupt that global Viagra marketplace that I'll touch on in a few slides. And this is a blockbuster market with issues. And so I'll just reference the market in general as the Viagra marketplace. But up to 50% of men stop buying Viagra and Viagra-like pills in the first year of use. So we're entering that blockbuster market with a better, much more efficient, faster-acting Viagra-like product. We have blue chip partners. So our commercial manufacturing partner is ASX-listed Mayne Pharma. So that really de-risks us from a manufacturing perspective because they're already approved by the FDA and TGA to manufacture this type of product for us. And we have some very high value inflection points coming up with some major milestones that I'll get into. The market is huge. It's growing to about a $6 billion market in 28. And importantly, to note on this slide is that most of these drugs, these new scripts for ED drugs like Viagra, are going online now. So it's no longer you have to build up, hundreds and thousands of sales reps to hit every GP's office. Most of this is online now. Guys can get on a men's health website, get diagnosed through chat. And through a prescribing doctor, get a prescription sent, or also product sent to them. So this is a major multi-billion-dollar market that we expect to tap into via the online sales channel. This is a really important slide. These are to understand what the current gold standard treatments are. So the gold standard treatments are primarily the top three here drugs. So Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra. And they all come in oral form. So you can see that they take an hour plus to work. So they don't always work for patients. In about 30 to 35% of patients, these tablets don't work because they have to go through the digestive system. If you have food in your stomach, they don't work. So it's a real big issue in the erectile dysfunction marketplace. And they have a long response time. So again, an hour plus, and they cause adverse reactions in about 30, 35% of patients because, again, the drugs have to go through the stomach and the liver, and that can be very harsh on a good percentage of men and make them sick. So we bypass that digestive route and go straight into the bloodstream through the nasal cavities, so we don't have those issues. So it's a really important slide to understand what's happening with the gold standard products on market right now and how we address those needs. I'm just going to skip a few slides because most of the audience recognize this. But again, our product, nasal spray, the main advantage is rapid absorption, so faster onset of action, and a more efficient delivery system. This is a really key slide and why we're pretty excited about where we are at today. This is the interim clinical results that we reported just a month or so ago, and showing that with our 5 milligram nasal spray compared to a 10 milligram tablet that's approved on market. The Cmax, which is the maximum concentration of the drug that enters the bloodstream, very, very similar amount of drug. Again, on our 5 mg nasal spray versus a 10 mg tablet. But the most important thing and why our product was designed is the time that it takes to get to that max concentration. So that's called Tmax. Our Tmax averaged 12 minutes with a range of 9 to 15 minutes in our clinical study. So, and that's important to note that the max concentration was shown on average 12 minutes into the bloodstream, but the drug itself starts working well before that. So we would expect our nasal spray to be effective well within 10 minutes, whereas the tablets averaged 56 minutes to get to that max concentration, but the longest that it took in the tablet form was 2.5 hours. So no guy in reality wants to wait around for 2.5 hours before sexual activity with their partner, let alone an hour. So it's a big product differentiator in the marketplace and why we're extremely excited about this clinical data. And also importantly, again, we used half the dose, so we expect less adverse events, and certainly that's what we saw in the clinical study. There was one dropout rate with the tablet due to vomiting and an upset stomach, which is again, fairly normal with tablets going through the stomach and the liver. So very, very key data. We believe that this represents the best data in the world for a fast-acting PDE5 Viagra-like product. Our commercialization strategy is pretty straightforward. It's near term, so we expect sales through the special access scheme here in Australia to begin in the coming months. So it's very, very fast, and it's a big thing for companies to have their drug, their invention, their IP be commercially manufactured, to get into doctors' hands, to get into pharmacies, to be able to be prescribed and used for the treatment, in this case, treatment of erectile dysfunction. So we expect this to commence sales with our top doctors here, so men's health specialists that are globally recognized. We expect this to begin in the coming months. So it's a very, very big high value inflection point for us near term. And then the next stage of pharmaceutical commercialization is pretty common to go through partnering and licensing opportunities. So this is where, for those markets that we don't plan to sell direct we can partner and license out our technology, our product with those regional and global pharmaceutical companies to allow them to sell and manufacture in their specific regions. So we're just going through that partnering program. We were at a global partnering program conference called BIO. It's the world's largest partnering conference. So we did that in June, and we were inundated with interest from all around the world to enter into discussions with us on our partnering program. So those will be our next stage of commercialization. And then obviously direct sales in those direct markets that we do sell direct in post full regulatory approval. So it's a stepwise iterative process to commercialization, but very high value inflection points for the company and for shareholders along the way. Our key milestones coming up real quickly is our full clinical data. So we reported interim results last month. So we expect to be able to report the full clinical data results that we're quite excited about coming up. And hopefully that'll be in the first quarter, but within the next month we're targeting. So we expect that to be global news flow and very, very relevant to not only to doctors who want to prescribe, to partners who want to potential partner and license the technology in their regions, but also regulatory agencies like the FDA and TGA. Early access use, I've touched on that already. This is really, really exciting to us to have this product be eligible for that special access program here in Australia. It's that program, that special access program, is for unmet needs, so high unmet needs that can benefit their patients, and certainly every doctor that we speak to sees that our product fits a high unmet need. And then meetings with the regulatory agencies in the following quarters. So that's going to be pretty big news flow with the FDA and TGA, adding additional products to our pipeline from there on. So there's a number of different indications that we're looking at, and we hope to be able in a position to announce early in 2025. And then the results of our upcoming licensing and partnering discussions in early 2025 as well. So we feel like we have a very high value, pretty exciting few quarters ahead, particularly as we release our final results and get first sales here in Australia. And so this slide, so it's caused by many issues. And so you saw on one of the charts before, this is going to be a $6 billion market. We think that's pretty conservative. And the reason why we think that is because there's more and more medications that people are on that are causing a higher incidence rate of erectile dysfunction. You know, one type of channel drug is for weight loss. So all the weight loss drugs that have hit the world by storm over the last year are known to have a higher incidence rate, cause a higher incidence rate of erectile dysfunction. So the more people on weight loss drugs, the more people on hair loss drugs, the more people on antidepressants, as well as diabetes and cardiovascular issues, those all lead to a higher incidence rate of erectile dysfunction. And so it's not just an old person's disease anymore. Much younger generations are experiencing erectile dysfunction. Again, once you reach the age of 45 years of age, men, over 60% of males suffer from erectile dysfunction. So it's a major issue that's not going away, and just growing and growing. And where you have the gold standard Viagra-like pills on market, not really meeting the treatment paradigms for those treatments, because you got 50% of men stop purchasing them in the first year. So we're very excited as we enter the market with our product SPONTAN coming up in the coming quarter.